Hey, welcome. It's the revival tour of the Hockey Talk, and today we will be discussing the 2020 NHL Draft. This video is brought to you by the fucking beauties at Madwax Hockey. Thank you for fucking hooking your boys up for Beer League.
Alright guys, so in this video we're going through every pick in the first round of this draft, 1 to 31, every team, every player. We're going to be giving you a little bit of an in-depth look at every single player, how they played last couple of seasons, and where we think they're going to be picked in this draft.
Coming in the first overall selection is unanimously Alexis Lafreniere. He is by far the most elite talent coming out of this draft.
Yeah, the New York Rangers are going to be getting a really solid player here no matter what. Definitely going to be a guy that could probably get 100 points in his career multiple times. He played in the Q last year with the Rimouski Oceanic. He was the captain. In only 52 games, he had 112 points. That's 35 goals and 77 assists. And he's been doing this in the league for multiple years. He got in 2017, 2018, where he played 60 games at 80 points. 2 years ago, he played 61 games, already at 105 points. And he just continued to elevate his game with 52 games played and 112 points.
Up next, we have the German-born player Tim Stützle, who is looking like he already had connections to the LA Kings organization. So let's see his stats from this year.
Yeah, this is going to be another good pick no matter what. The Kings should be very happy. I mean, they're going to go with Byfield or Stützle. We have Stützle going. We both think that he's going to be the better player out of the two. He played with men last year in the DEL, which is the #1 German league. He played with Adler Mannheim. He had 41 games played, 7 goals, 27 assists for 34 points, which is really good for playing with men. This is going to be a really good player in the future for sure.
Up next, we have the Ottawa Senators' 3rd overall selection, and we think it is going to be Quinton Byfield of the OHL.
Quinton Byfield's a big body, absolute tank. Guy can hit, guy can score. He's really everything you need. He's going to be perfect with Ottawa, especially with Brady Tkachuk. That's going to be a deadly line if they play together. Byfield played with Sudbury last year in the OHL. He had 82 points in 45 games, 32 goals, 50 assists, and there was a time where he could have been tied with Laff for that #1 pick. So Ottawa, if they get him at 3, that's going to be a great pick.
At the 4th overall selection, we have Jamie Drysdale, who is undoubtedly the top defensive prospect of this year.
Yeah, Drysdale is definitely the best prospect in the draft. A very good pick at 4. He played with the Erie Otters last year in the OHL. In 49 games, he had 47 points, 9 of those being goals, and 38 of those being assists. This is going to be a great pick no matter what.
With the 5th overall selection, we have Lucas Raymond going to the Ottawa Senators. The Swedish-born forward played junior for 9 games, only tallied up 14 points. But in the men's league, he had 10 points in 33 games, 4 goals, 6 assists. And overall, he just is going to be a very successful player in the future.
Yeah, if Ottawa can get both these players, they're going to be very solid. They're going to be very happy with this draft no matter what happens in the other rounds. Quinton Byfield and Lucas Raymond would be steals.
6th overall, we have Marco Rossi, who is the Austrian-born forward who played for the Ottawa 67s of the OHL.
Rossi had 120 points in 56 games in the OHL last year, which is the most out of any CHL player, I believe. Now some say it's because he played with Jack Quinn and all that stuff, and they'll say that vice versa. That's why I've seen Jack Quinn go anywhere from 10 to like 22. The 67s were a really good team, but Marco Rossi's an insane prospect no matter what. A little bit undersized, doesn't matter. He can skate excellent. He's got a solid shot. He's going to be a very good pick at 6.
That size argument is a bunch of fucking bullshit if you ask me. Look at some of the greatest players of our last 20 years. You got Martin St. Louis. You got, Jack Hughes, which was drafted 1st overall.
He's small.
Yeah, and that's the way she goes sometimes. Up next, we have Alexander Holtz. The prospect from Sweden played for Desjardins IF of the SHL with a bunch of men.
He had a very solid year, especially playing with a bunch of men. He had 16 points in 35 games, 9 of which being goals and 7 being assists. He also played 3 games in the Swedish Junior League, where he had 9 points in 3 games, and he's already played 3 games this year in the SHL with the same team. He's got a goal in his first 3 games.
If you look at the stats just playing, you would think Alexander Holtz is better than Lucas Raymond, but in my opinion, it has been Lucas Raymond the whole time. Up next, we have Cole Perfetti of the Saginaw Spirit. He tallied 111 points in 61 games, 37 goals, 74 assists. Seems like an all-around good prospect in this deep draft.
Coming in at number 9, we have the Minnesota Wild taking probably the second best defenseman in the draft. Some have rumored him to be the number 1, but I don't see him being better than Drysdale. We have Jake Sanderson. Sanderson had 29 points in 47 games with the U.S. national team. He was also the captain, so he could be a leader. I think the Minnesota Wild are taking him because they tend to be pretty stupid when it comes to drafting, and they're going to reach for a defenseman, so he's probably not ranked as the number 9 prospect in the draft, in my opinion, but he's probably going to get taken by the Wild, especially if the Wild trade Dumba.
Up next, we have Anton Lundell, who seems like a very elite prospect from Finland.
Yeah, the Winnipeg Jets, if Lundell's sitting there at 10, I don't see how the Jets pass on him. He could develop into that perfect second-line center for him. He's very defensive, and he could score. He played in Liga last year, so he did play with men. He had 28 points in 44 games, 10 goals, 18 assists. The Jets should be super happy if they take him, or if he's there at 10. I don't see how they pass on him, no matter what.
Up next, we have homegrown boy Seth Jarvis, making Winnipeg proud. Played for the Winnipeg Monarchs way back when we were 14, as he is our age. And now he plays with the Portland Winterhawks. He's shaping up to be one of the best prospects from Manitoba in recent years.
Yeah, he's going to be a stud in the NHL. I don't have any doubts about that. Very low-risk player. As much as I hate the Nashville Predators, if they get him, they're going to be getting a solid prospect. He had 98 points in 58 games with the Winterhawks, 42 of those being goals and 56 being assists. Great year for Seth Jarvis. He really shot up the draft rankings this year. He's going to be a solid pick at 11 for the Preds for sure.
Up next, we have another Swedish prospect. They're showing very well in this draft. We got Noel Gunler.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to whoever picks him up at 12. He's going to be a solid prospect. He had 13 points in 45 games in the SHL, 4 goals, 9 assists.
Up next, we have Russian goaltending prospect Yaroslav Askarov, who reminds me a lot of a young Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin really raised a solid goalie here. He went off in the VHL last year, which I'm pretty sure is like the junior KHL. I'm not 100% sure. He played 18 games. He had a 2.45 goals against average with a 920 save percentage. And already this year in the KHL, he had in 3 games played, he's got a 0.74 goals against average and a .974 save percentage. This guy's gonna be a stud for the Hurricanes. If the Preds don't take him at 11, I don't see the Hurricanes passing up on him. Great player, great pick. Coming in at number 14, we got Jack Quinn. Ottawa 67. He had 89 points in 62 games. 52 goals, 37 assists. Seems like a solid player to me. What do you think?
I honestly think he is one of the most overrated prospects in this draft. He was carried by Marco Rossi. It's evident. 52 goals. Marco Rossi just like setting all those up, obviously.
So you think Jack Quinn sucks?
No, I don't think he sucks. I just don't think he is.
You think he's overhyped a little bit?
Yeah,
you think maybe he should be drafted in the 20s?
Yeah,
but still first round.
Oh yeah, first round. He's just not top 20 material. Like Marco Rossi, like the 67s are stacked.
Yeah,
like one of the best teams in the CHL.
Choked in the playoffs. So that's behind us. I think he's a solid, maybe top 18 pick. I guess we'll see what happens.
Next up, we have Raid. No,
you fucking dumbass.
You gotta go. You gotta say it. I can't say it.
Yeah, this guy's on something. It's Rodion Amirov. Last year in 21 games played, he only had 2 assists. But this year he's already played 9 games. He's already got 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists.
Last year his coaches weren't mad; they were just disappointed. Up next, we have Dawson Mercer of the Chicoutimi Saguenayes.
This year he played with them, but last year he played with the Jumonville Voltigeurs. He was the assistant captain. He had 26 games played, 18 goals, 24 assists, 42 points. A solid guy, maybe a top 6 forward if things go well. He's already played a game this year. I didn't know the queue already started, but apparently they did. I'm pretty sure the other junior league starts December 1st. But he has 2 goals in that one game.
And last year he totaled off with 60 points in 42 games, which is very impressive. Up next, we have Jan Mytestico. Oh, no, wait, it's Jan Mysak. I'm sorry. And he played with the Hamilton Bulldogs last year, tallying 25 points in 22 games, which is pretty good. But with men, he put up 9 and 26 in the Czech League. That's even more impressive.
Next up, we got the assistant captain for the Brandon Wheat Kings, Braden Schneider. Braden Schneider had a pretty solid year last year. He was the best defenseman on the Wheat Kings by far. 42 points in 60 games, 7 goals, 35 assists. I saw this guy play live a couple times, and he can play hockey for sure.
Up next, we have Kamloops Blazers All-Star Connor Zary. You know, the man put up 86 points in 57 games, 38 goals, 48 assists. You know, tic-tac, frick-frack. That's pretty good if you ask me.
Next up, we got Maverick Bork. Solid, amazing year with the Shawinigan Cataracts last year. 71 points in 49 games, 29 goals, 42 assists. Off to a bit of a sluggish start this year with 1 assist in 2 games, but it's so early, I shouldn't even have said that. Guy's going to be a solid player for sure. Top 9 guy, but you never know.
Next up, we have Dylan Holloway, who played for the University of Wisconsin in the NCAA. The man put up 17 points in 35 games. And if I know stuff about stealing, because my bike's been stolen, this might be the biggest steal of the draft.
Yeah, he could be definitely good. Don't mix him up with Zoe Holloway.
Next up, we have Caden Gooley of the Prince Albert Raiders.
Guy's a rocket. He had 40 points in 64 games with the Prince Albert Raiders last year. 11 goals, 29 assists. Another solid pick. If you get him where he's being drafted, you're chilling.
Good night, Jim Kite. Up next, we have who I call Jimi Hendrik Lapierre. And the man cannot be confused with Maxime Lapierre, who is a former NHLer. They are not related at all. He played 19 games with Chicoutimi last year, must have gotten hurt. He had 17 points, 2 goals, 15 assists, and this season, he has 4 points in 1 game, 2 goals, 2 assists. Solid start for him.
Bring down!
Up next, we have Jacob Perreault of the Sarnia Sting. He had 70 points in 57 games, 39 goals, 31 assists, and all I have to say is this guy is going to be solid.
Next up, we got the Barrie Colts' very own Tyson Forster, I believe is how you say it. He had a solid year on a pretty bad team. He had a negative 17 plus minus, but that's irrelevant in the juniors pretty much. He had 80 points in 62 games, like I said, on a bad team. 36 goals, 44 assists. Another solid guy in the late round.
Rest in peace, Dale Howardchuk, their former coach.
Rest in peace, legend.
Up next, we have another German prospect by the name John Jason Paterka. The man played in the DEL for EHC München and had 11 points in 42 games. The DEL is the top-tier league of Germany. Next up, we have Ronnie Hirvonen of the Liga. He played for Assat, had 16 points in 52 games, all-around solid prospect in that good league. And honestly, I think they need to rename that team. It sounds too much like Asshat.
I agree with that completely.
And their first, like, Porin, sounds like porn. Like, that's not good.
Okay.
Up next, we have Helge Grans of the SHL.
He split the year last year in the SHL and the junior SHL. When he was playing in the juniors, he was a point per game guy, 27 points, 27 games, 4 goals, 23 assists. And when he played in the SHL, he had 3 points, 21 games, 1 goal, 2 assists.
It is very impressive that he was a point per game in junior as a defenseman. And Sweden, once again, is showing why they are an elite hockey
Good year for
country.
Sweden. Good year for Sweden. Next up, we got Chicago Steel's very own Brendan Brisson, who played in the USHL. He had 59 points, 45 games, 24 goals, 35 assists. Very solid player.
Up next, we have another Swedish prospect. His name is Zion. Is that Nybek?
Yep.
He had 66 points in 42 games in the junior SHL and 1 point in 15 games with HV71 in the SHL.
Next up, we got Lucas Reichel, last pick in the draft. Very solid player, especially the last pick in the first round. He had 24 points in 42 games with Eisbären Berlin, of the DEL German league. Those 24 points were split evenly between goals and assists, so 12 goals, 12 assists. And I think this could also be a very solid pick, especially so late in the first round.
And that is it for our draft preview. Up next, we have the 256 team NHL 20 Mega Tournament. We will see who the best team in NHL 20 is. Me and Mason have both done a tournament each, and one time Pittsburgh won, and the other was the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are the 2020 Stanley Cup champions. And thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Peace.